Welcome, everyone, to another episode of the Health Made Simple Show. I'm your host, Dr. Bart, and today we're going to do an episode where I call it the clinical insight. We haven't done one of these in a little while, so I thought it'd be a good time for it, and something has kind of popped up in terms of a clinical insight that I thought would be a great opportunity to share with you. And there's a lot of lessons in this example that I'm going to share with you. I'm going to do everything I can not to use the guy's name in this. If it slips out, I apologize, although I know he wouldn't care anyways. All right, so clinical insight. This is where I'm going to share with you a situation, kind of a case, if you want to call it, and where we go with it. This one's very unique in the sense that this is actually one of my concierge coaching clients. So this gentleman is not necessarily a chiropractic client. He's not necessarily just a nutritional client. I do have a program where I have a concierge coaching program. I don't speak of it too much. I can't handle, handle is not the right word, but I don't have space for a lot of different clients. So these are the clients that say, hey, listen, doc, what's it going to take for me to have you as my personal coach? And we have a program for that. So if for some reason that interests you, you can dive into that and figure out how that works out. Anyways, this gentleman is one of those clients. And he came to me in a very unique situation where he was turning 50 years old. And when he turned 50, very much like a lot of other knuckleheads, which I included myself in that group, he decided that he would sign up for a marathon. And his running portfolio to this point was zero races. So why not start with a marathon? So in doing so, when he started running, and he got a coaching program, and he got a running coach and all that kind of good stuff. And right away, he realized that he was getting injured and he was having all these setbacks and his health wasn't there. And he actually had to go get some lab work, and there was some scares with his health, et cetera. So he made a commitment that he's going to do it. And I'll talk about the why in just a moment. And that's where I kind of came into the game. He then figured out shortly after that he needed to level up all of his health. We were dealing some things. So he was overweight. I tell you that. Definitely not built like a runner. So when you think about runners, you usually think about like long and lean or small and lean. Not the case. He definitely had some weight issues. Had to overcome some potential, let's say, liver disease scares, some other challenges like that. Anyways, so when he first came to me, he said, listen, I want to be able to run a marathon. And then it was like 7 months away. And my question always is when those situations come up was the why. What's driving this? Because then it's going to help me. This is the same thing every day in clinic. When someone wants to get better, wants to get out of pain. Listen, pain's a good example. Doc, my back is killing me. I don't often ask this, but when I can figure out the why, it all makes sense at that point. And I also know at that point what the person or the individual is willing to do regarding to getting better. So for example, just pain is not enough to drive us to really do anything. Most people are pretty tolerable pain. It's kind of fascinating. But the moment that your pain interferes with your ability to play with your kids, your inability to perform at work, to perform at anything for that matter, it is that X factor why we want to get out of pain. I fall into that category. I'll tolerate as much pain as I possibly can until I can't adjust people or until I can't get on the jiu-jitsu mats. It is that point that I'm often taking care of those things. Now, hopefully I've been learning lessons and I start to take care of those things prior. But getting to the why becomes really important. So when I asked this gentleman, why do you want to be able to run a marathon? What is it about a marathon? And he said, this is where it kind of gets interesting. He said, I want to be able to lead from the front. I asked him, so elaborate, please. Tell me what that means. He said, I want to be able to figure out how to be the best leader I can when it comes to my clients, when it comes to my family, and when it comes to myself. Now all of a sudden, everything changes. So I said, what does a marathon have to do with it? And he said, well, I absolutely hate running. It'd be the hardest thing that I could possibly do. I really don't want to do it. But if for somehow, some way I could figure out how to run a marathon, I could probably do anything. And that lit me up. And I'm hopefully you listening to this, it kind of lights you up in the same way. Because too often people are avoiding any type of discomfort across the board. You guys have heard me say that before, that there's too much softness involved right now. We avoid pain. We avoid difficult situations. We avoid everything that might create a little discomfort. But he knew going into his 50th birthday that he actually had to go face some of these things head on. I'm going to fast forward this a little bit and let you know, and I'll talk to you about the work that we did, and then also my point of sharing this with you today. So fast forward to this. He not only runs a marathon, he runs two. On any given weekend right now, he can knock out a half marathon like nothing. Like you and I getting up going to the gym. He can knock out a half marathon. He doesn't go fast. It takes him freaking long time. He's not built like a runner. He goes slow, but he will work it out. So along the way, the marathon wasn't challenging enough. And along the way, he decided to sign up for, I think it was called an Ironman. It was like, I don't know if it was 75 or 100-mile run. He ended up doing like 42. I hope I didn't get that wrong, but I think it was like 42 miles straight, folks. For this is a guy, and so this is when he's 52 years old now, 2 years after never running before. Do we have to tackle some things? Yeah. So these are the subtleties that we worked on. In the beginning, when he came to me, well, you bet your butt, we changed his diet big time. We changed a lot of things. We changed what time he got up, what time he went to bed, in order to be able to achieve the things he wanted to do, in order to have more energy to be able to complete these tasks. We had to change what he's fundamentally doing. And again, I'm going to share that because I want you to start to think of the things that you want, or maybe even some of the dreams that you're letting go of. Often we let go of them because we don't think we have the energy, the willpower, or the fortitude to go get them. And I'm saying, and I'm going to tell you that you do. It's just hiding. And so we started plugging away, and nothing was overnight. This was a miserable ride most of the time. And he just kept plugging away. And what do I mean miserable? He would pull muscles. He would have foot issues, hip issues, neck issues, sleeping issues, gut issues. We had to overcome massive gut issues, bloated, SIBO. All of these things started to show up when he started to push his body a little bit. But one by one, we just started clicking through it. When it comes to the diet, we hunkered down. So he's in the finance world. He helps people become wealthy. And this was part of what sparked it as well. In fact, I'll share this with you. I might butcher it a little bit, but it sounded something like this. He said, I've helped people get wealthy for most of my career. And what I've recognized is that when the person is unhealthy, they have no worth. Even though they have a high net worth, they become worthless. And I know that sounds kind of brutal or kind of cruel, but it was something that he was observing in people that had super amount of wealth in their life, but unhealthy individuals, in his perspective, had no net worth. And I think you guys understand that, because the truth is that if you can't move, if you can't comprehend a conversation, if you can't participate in life, man, it's tough. Your value goes down. That's the reality. Your value goes down. And again, it's mean, or as hard as that sounds, it's 100% true. So if there are things we can do, let's continue to do them. So we keep leveling up. We keep pushing and banging away here. Did we get rid of alcohol? Yes. Was it easy? No. This is a person that socialized regularly with alcohol. So even with a lot of the training, even with one of the marathons under his belt, but the next level was to eliminate the alcohol. And it wasn't that difficult because we kept going back to the why. He wanted to lead from the front. So we kept on visiting the conversation. In order to be the best dad, in order to be the best man, the best advisor, whatever it is that you want to be the best of, are you better off with or without the toxins? That was where we kept getting back to. And it became crystal clear that the version of himself that he was really looking for didn't exist. So it means that he had to make some changes. And hopefully, as I'm saying this, you're thinking about some things. That what if you did let go of the crap food? Not for a month, not for a couple weeks. Like you just stopped. You're just like, you know what? This doesn't serve me anymore. What if you stopped staying up late? What if you got a 45 minutes to an hour of sleep additional every night? What if you decided first thing in the morning, no matter what, you went to the gym every single morning? What if you also did an inventory of the people that you hang out with in your life? This was a huge one for us. So we walked through this. So my concierge coaching program, if you guys get a feel for it, you're probably getting a sense already. Yeah, we talk about health and wealth and relationships. It's all the above. There's no separation. In my normal, everything I do, more often than not, we have to kind of focus on the health component of it. But when we dive deep, folks, everything we do connects. So your relationships 100% are connected to the level of health that you have. And your partner is either aiding that in helping you level up, or they're not. It's that simple. And hopefully they are, but they are aiding it one way or another, either the version of you that's not good or the version of you that's going to be the best version of yourself. I'm very blessed with my relationship, where my wife probably levels me up when it comes to my nutrition and how I eat and all those good things. So for me, does that make sense? Is it a good idea that I have someone like that in my life? Absolutely, because this is no doubt something that I enjoy at this point in my life. So the people, we had to do a lot of inventory, the people that he was hanging around with in terms of to match up with his goals. And you guys have heard me talk about it before. The people that you spend the most time with, mental energy with, ones you're conversing with, the people, whether it be in your office, whatever it may be. If you're spending a lot of time with people energetically, it could be on text, it could be on calls, it could be in anything, but energetically, most likely, you're going to start to adopt similar philosophies and habits. So for this young man, 50-plus-year-old man, we had to start to eliminate some of the people, and that sounds cruel, but let me put it in a different way. We had to make some observations of which ones served him to be the best version of himself. If you take a moment right now and do the inventory of the 4, 5, 6 people that you have in your life that you interact with the most, and you look at where they are when it comes to their health, their wealth, and their relationships, you're looking at a mirror image of you. And if you don't like it, the beauty is you're allowed to change. It's okay. And I know that there's always another group of people that are looking for you, that different version of you, though. The one that might be a little bit healthier, might be a little bit wealthier, might have better relationships, maybe have better standards altogether. And that's really what we did. We started leveling up the standards, but because I knew the why and he gave me the permission of accountability, that's when we teamed up, and that's when we started to achieve huge things. So I had the opportunity recently to meet his son, and my goodness, that was one of my best days of recent, in the sense that it gave me faith in the youth that is coming up. Forget he's 21 or 24 years old, and this young man is a stud, taking no prisoners. I've had the opportunity to meet some young people recently, and it has completely opened up my eyes, where I was pretty frowny upon the youth right now. And yet the last 3 people that I met, these 3 young men, total different categories, all either 20, 21, and 24. They are all got their stuff in line. They are healthy, fit, strong. They're not putting alcohol in their body. They're healthier than their parents, and which is fascinating. So they have decided what they want in their lives, and they're going after it. And good luck, everyone else, because the leaders of the future, the ones that are doing stuff like that, they're not taking any prisoners, which I absolutely love. All right, let me get back to this gentleman, 50 years old, never ran a marathon in life. Now he's put 2 under his belt, ran a 40-mile run, and now has the aspiration to continue to do it. Along the way, things that happened, and I'm sharing this with you for a very specific reason, completely changed his diet. Now he's on basically what we call a modified carnivore. A lot of animal proteins, lots of fruits, little veggies here and there. And that just fit for him because that's what works best for his gut health. This is where it's going to get interesting for any of you out there that are practitioners or fitness enthusiasts or coaches, whatnot. You're going to think, well, he's a long distance runner. How do you get into, how are you keeping him on that diet, or how do you keep him in ketosis? I definitely moved him into ketosis. I try to keep him there on a regular basis. It almost flies in the face of people that are doing endurance function. Say you can't do that. It's not true. You can do it. We've seen evidence all around the world where we see young boys and girls or tribes in third world countries. They don't have any food. Their parents may go hunting or whatever it may be for 24, 36 hours, no food, have plenty of energy. What are they doing? They're utilizing ketones. Their body is learning how to burn fat for fuel. So we did that for this gentleman. He now can, move in and out of ketosis. And so we often will fast him before he trains and fast often during training. If he's looking for higher scores, which has never really been the intention, we might then start giving him some carbohydrates and basically sugar throughout his performances. That's just a little bit of a side note. Did we overcome some of the kidney potential diseases? Yes. Are they in the back of his mind? Yes. They're part of the why. And so I'll leave on this here. Do we have to overcome a tremendous amount of stuff? Yes. Was it all hard? Yes. And I'm laughing because it doesn't sound like a real selling point to go after what you really want, but it is. because on the other side of this, when we spoke just the other day, man is lit up and on purpose and on passion. There's nothing that's going to stop him. He's 53 years old right now, so there's 3 years into this, and the dreams are now even bigger. And I'm sharing all of this for a couple of reasons. One, I want to speak to your heart for just a moment. I think too often we give up way too early. I think that we give up before we really experience or understand what we are capable of. And if you see anyone doing anything, that could be a standard, meaning that what if I did what that human did? Could I get those results? And the truth is, folks, most of the time, maybe exclude like Michael Jordan, but most of the time, if you put in the work that the other individual does, you're going to get very similar results. But this idea that some of this stuff comes really easy, and you just kind of turn on the internet or do some really cool things, and all of a sudden you're going to have health, wealth, and relationships. I've yet to see that really happen. So I'll tell you that the best things are often things that are the hardest to get. And when most likely the greatest lessons we ever have in life are going to be through some levels of pain, whether physical pain, emotional, spiritual, whatever it may be, maybe even financial pain. Yet I often think people give up too early. And I'm very blessed that this gentleman came into my life and asked me for my help to level him up to the next level, because it forced me to level up as well. And to see him go after something that was so far out of his league. If you could picture someone's body that you would say that person should never be a runner, that's this dude. And now he can click off a half marathon any given day. Oh, can we do 13? Yeah, we can do 13-1 today. No big deal. So with that being said, let's not give up on all the good things. No matter where you are in terms of your health, your wealth, your relationships, don't give up, man. It's put the hard work in. Find someone, see a model, see something that has done what you want before, and just start to mimic those actions. Will it probably have a lot of suck involved? Yes. Will it be some hard work? Yes. Will it be all worth it? Hell yeah. That's why we're here, to do the very best that we possibly can to serve from the highest level, or like my friend said, to lead from the front. With that being said, folks, hopefully you enjoyed this little clinical insight. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Health Made Simple Show. Keep doing your thing. Keep sharing out. Keep spreading love. Make sure you're taking deliberate action for your mind, your body, overall wellness. That'll be awesome.